is Red Feather from Greppax. In this Kdenlive video, we will be showing you how to create a slideshow and talking about some improvements that have been made in this version of Kdenlive. According to our minor research, the average slideshow for birthdays or weddings is approximately 100 images. Although for our Kdenlive example, we will use quite less. As you can see, we are utilizing version 19.12.3 for this example. Being that said, open Kdenlive, go to the plus symbol to add clip, and click the drop-down menu. Scroll down to Add Slideshow Clip and click. Once the Kdenlive slideshow clip window appears, in the window just below the animation drop-down menu, you may see no images, as in our window, or possibly the wrong images. In order to begin in the Kdenlive slideshow, where it says Folder, click the Open File dialog. Once our File dialog box opens, as you can see, there are images present, and we know our directory is correct. But our slideshow shows none. Because our directory is correct, we'll hit Cancel to close the File dialog box. Next, in the Kdenlive slideshow, scroll down to Image Type. Knowing your image type is important. Although, if you have more image types of, say, 100 images, but half are JPG and the other half are, say, PNG, you can make two different slideshows and merge them on the timeline. I would also like to point out, if I had a lot of images on my system, I would have created a separate folder for those images and pointed the Kdenlive file dialog box to that directory. You may have noticed that all my images were PNG, mostly because I created them with Krita and or took a screenshot, as well as creating one from LibreOffice. Being that said, click the Kdenlive slideshow image type drop-down menu, scroll down to the type, JPG or PNG or otherwise, and click. In our case, PNG. Now notice in the window of the Kdenlive slideshow, you can see all of the PNG images. In earlier versions of Kdenlive, there were some issues with slideshow, but I found this ease of use to be a big improvement. You may notice in the Kdenlive slideshow configuration box, there are other items that can be configured. There are some items that do not function, so if we do not use or show a configuration, most likely it either does not function or at least properly. Being that said, we will click OK for our Kdenlive slideshow example. This drops us back to our Kdenlive project, placing the slideshow within the project bin. Now let's give the slideshow a playback from the Kdenlive clip monitor. This will allow us to see the Kdenlive slideshow in operation as we add or remove configuration features within the slideshow. Once you have reviewed the Kdenlive slideshow and see its function, go to the project bin and right-click the slideshow and scroll down to Clip Properties and click. This will bring up the Kdenlive slideshow configuration window as you can see. Once the Kdenlive slideshow configuration window appears, let's put a check mark in the dissolve box and then take a look at the animation features. Once looking at the animation features in the Kdenlive slideshow, you may notice the pan and zoom features. Although in most aspects Kdenlive uses position and zoom, this could just be a labeling issue or a hint there is pending work to be done here. Anywho, these animation features do work, but first let's give our Kdenlive slideshow a playback with just dissolve. So click OK and give it a playback in the clip monitor. Once you have finished the playback and see the results of the Kdenlive dissolve, it is up to you if you are satisfied or if you would like to try some further animation. Next, in Kdenlive, right-click the slideshow in the project bin, scroll down to Clip Properties and click. When the slideshow configuration window appears, go to Animation and click the drop-down menu. Choose the Kdenlive slideshow animation you would like to try and click. Then click OK. Once this is done, give it a playback in the Kdenlive project monitor. Once our Kdenlive project monitor playback is finished, you may notice we have done a couple of things for this example. One, we have created another Kdenlive slideshow with the same images, but added no configuration features and have imported one of the images of our example in order to show how to implement some animation features that could be added manually. But first, let me expand into a full screen mode of Kdenlive and show you a quick playback. These Kdenlive manual add-ins depend on a couple of things. One, how much work you wish to put into your slideshow, and two, adding features to the slideshow that may not be offered or are not functioning properly. First, we must determine where we will place the function in the slideshow. On the Kdenlive timeline, an easy way to determine this, if the image is at its default size, placing the imported image on top of the area, lining it up, then razor tool and slice. Then separate the Kdenlive slideshow clip, giving it a playback at each end to assure the proper cut was achieved, and placing the image to be used into place on the timeline. Next, for this Kdenlive example, we will be using an effect called position and zoom. The pan and zoom features were working fine in the slideshow, but maybe you wanted a bit more, so we will show the basic operations. In the effects list, type zoom. Grab the Kdenlive position and zoom, placing it into the image to be used. Once this is done, click on the image, so as the properties window appears for the position and zoom. We will be using the keyframes in order to achieve the Kdenlive animation function. First, examine the image and determine where you would like your Kdenlive animation to begin, placing your timeline marker there. Then, click on the image again so as the Kdenlive properties window appears for the position and zoom. Then, in the Kdenlive properties window, determine what action will be taken. The y-axis adjusts up and down. The x-axis adjusts side to side. And then, of course, there is the width and the height. Let us start with the y-axis, then adjusting the height. Once this is done, click the keyframe plus symbol of the Kdenlive position and zoom in order to set the keyframe animation. Then move your timeline marker to a new position of the image in order to recover or add further movement with another keyframe. So now let us use the x-axis in order to get a similar Kdenlive animation. Now, keyframes can be a little tricky, but in this version of Kdenlive, you can grab the keyframe line that is in the image on the timeline, adjusting it left or right. Once your Kdenlive position and zoom animations are added, give it a playback to assure it is what you want. Next, we will be utilizing the Kdenlive title clip feature in order to gain our animation for our slideshow. This will give us an opportunity to use features not offered within the slideshow configuration window. So, let us first create the Kdenlive title clip we will be using. We already have a direction of the animation in mind for the title clip. Go to the Add Clip symbol, click the drop-down menu, scroll down to Add Title Clip, and click. Once the Kdenlive Add Title Clip configuration window appears, click on the Add Image symbol, navigate to the image to be used, and click Open. Once the image has been added in the Kdenlive title clip configuration window, to the right, click Animation. Now, unless you use this Kdenlive feature all the time, it could be a bit tricky, as you can see. The action we are looking for is a movement to the left. Once you have clicked the animation function of the Kdenlive title clip, click on Edit Start or Edit End, moving the Start or End screen to a position to complete the action you desire. In order to test the action, click OK, and then give it a playback in the clip monitor. In order to change the Kdenlive title clip operation, in the project bin, right-click and scroll down to Edit, and click. This brings up the Kdenlive title clip configuration window. Click back on the animation and the function that was used, moving it in order in the other direction to achieve the necessary action, then clicking OK, and give it another playback to see if it is the proper action. As you can see, ours is not. So we will use the Kdenlive title clip end screen this time. But first, we must return our edit start function back in place. In doing so, we will click animation edit start, then placing it back into place. Now let us try the edit end, moving it in the direction we think it should go, and click OK and give it a playback on the Kdenlive clip monitor to check its operation. Nope, still not right. So let us go back in and change the operation once again in the Kdenlive title clip. And voila, our Kdenlive playback shows success. Next in the Kdenlive, for our example, we have decided to make another cut for the placement of our title clip animation. Once this is done, place the title clip on the timeline. Now that this is done, we need to create a second Kdenlive title clip with our next image. So go to the Add Clip drop-down menu, click the Add Title Clip. In the title clip window, click Add Image, navigate to the image and open it. Now notice as I click on the Kdenlive animation in the title clip configuration window and edit start, moving edit start to the left is exactly what is needed. So we can move our title clip to the timeline, placing it on top of the first Kdenlive title clip, and then giving it a playback. But notice, as I give it a playback, the black line that is present within the Kdenlive playback. There are a couple of ways to address this in Kdenlive, but I will do a quick fix by overlapping and shortening of the first title clip. Once this is done, give Kdenlive another playback to assure everything looks good. Next, for our Kdenlive example, we will add another set of Kdenlive title clips. So if you're following along, make your next cut at the proper area. Once this is done, create another title clip, importing the next image into the Kdenlive title clip. Click the animation feature of the Kdenlive title clip, choosing the direction flow of your chosen animation. For our example, we will put a corner-to-corner upward motion. Once your first Kdenlive title clip is created and flowing in the direction you desire, place it on the timeline. Then create the next title clip to place on top of it in the same fashion we did the first two. Then give it a playback. For the next part of our example, we will use a wipe and then a fade. Although the fade function seemed to work nicely in the slideshow, the wipe function does not. So make the proper cut, then right-click before and then after, placing the wipe of your choice. into the Kdenlive slideshow. Now, if you would like to get a bit fancier, you can place an image into the wipe. If you would like, please see our video on placing an image into a wipe in our Kdenlive playlist. After you have placed your Kdenlive wipe and wish to try a fade to see its effect, go to the next image area, make the proper razor slice, point to the upper right or and left corner of the slice, grab the circle that appears, dragging it to 1 or 128. The rest of this video is our rendered project. Please enjoy. We hope you have enjoyed this Kdenlive slideshow tutorial and found it helpful in some fashion, and if so, then why not give this video a like? And while you're at it, why not become a subscriber? Ringing that bell in order to be notified your way of newly released videos. I mean, after all, ladies and gentlemen, it is free. The beginning and the end of this video has been provided by none other than Alex Abayu1. Thank you in advance. I am out.